website right now and download my free course on alternate picking mastery. It contains 5 essential exercises that will take you to alternate picking mastery faster than you can imagine. And then I've included my method of how to lay out a practice plan in just 1 to 2 minutes that will absolutely boost your results like nothing you ever tried before. So go download it right now. It's free. Hey, got a really cool question from a guy who was all into focus after watching my YouTube videos. But then a question is, what does that actually mean to what we're practicing and how we're practicing, right? How do you convert that principle into action, and when are you doing it right or most productively? And his question was, well, I'm focusing on a solo of Guthrie Govan, and it's like 1 to 2 minutes long, and my whole plan is to learn that solo. That's my focus. And if you focus on that for 6 months, right, just going into that, is that focusing? Is that having focus when you practice instead of practicing all kinds of stuff? You're just practicing one single solo. But it depends on your level, really, because just think about what's involved in a solo by this guy, right? He's a pretty accomplished technician. I'm sure there's alternate picking in there. There's tapping, there's legatos, hammer-ons, and pull-offs. There's some sweep picking, and there's some scales, arpeggios, all kinds of elements involved. And just imagine, how big that is, really. And there's nothing wrong with aiming to master that solo. But what I would do was to say, okay, what do we got here? What is he using? Okay, he's using alternate picking. Let me see what kind of alternate picking he's using. What is he playing? And the first problem I would encounter in that solo, well, you could start playing it, right? Okay, well, doing this, whatever. The first point at which you have a problem or a challenge, I would stop there, and then I would design an exercise around that challenge that I could hammer away at. There's nothing wrong with having that solo you really like, and having that idea, if I could play that would be just mind-blowingly cool, right? Because that ignites you and motivates you. But then you place that up there, and then you say, how can I chop my way into it and identify the different challenges? And every time I encounter a challenge, I design an exercise, a loopable exercise I can do around it, so I can go back and forth and back and forth and round and round and round and round until I have it. Might be in your... Right? Because you need that insane back and forth thing in order for you to reach mastery. But then if you know that this comes from this amazing solo, then you know what you're working on, which is something amazing, very practical, very real, and very magical, right? So that combination is cool. But if what you do is play the first 4 bars or 8 bars, just, which involves alternate picking, hammer-ons and pull-offs and all kinds of stuff, then what happens in your brain is it doesn't really know what it's supposed to become good at. Because there's so much in there, right? There's, okay, alternate picking, and you can play that thing forever, right? You can play... Right? And you can spell your way through that over and over again, but that chunk is simply, there's too many little challenges in there for the brain to ever become good at anything. So it develops so slowly. It's just, and what happens to most people that take on a solo like that, depending on what level they're on, of course, is that they give up. They say, okay, I can never learn to play like that. But that's simply because you're using the wrong approach. Just 1 bar could include all kinds of stuff that you really need, where you need to take it out and really focus on it exclusively and hammer away at it with thousands of repetitions and then move on to the next thing. But as I said, there's nothing wrong with focusing on that solo as long as you have that little loop approach. Right? You loop the first thing, it's easy. Loop the, can't do that. What is that? That's the outside string shift in alternate picking. Okay, let me focus on that for the next 4 weeks. That outside string shifting, and you design a loopable exercise or a couple of loopable exercises that you can do with the metronome in front of the TV, and then you hammer away at it. Once that's mastered at a specific level, that's up to you. you might go for his level, or you might go for something below, so you can move on and not be. And then you move back to the first challenge again once you are way into it. But you just make sure that you focus all the time. That's the secret, right? And don't have that big solo and play 4 to 8 bars through it over and over and over again. It will not work. It simply won't. Subscribe for more free videos. Do it. Do it now. Do it.